Hello and welcome to the first video on IC's YouTube channel. Glad you can join me. So I wanted to do something a little bit different for this video. Ironically, if you watched my Twitter and Instagram video from yesterday, I said this channel would primarily be a gaming channel, but the first video I'm going to do is got nothing to do with video gaming whatsoever. So if video gaming is what you come to watch, then this isn't really for you. What I am going to do though is discuss my weight loss journey over the last 7 to 8 months, because I think it would be helpful to document it for myself, and also it could be educational for other people that find themselves in a similar situation that I found myself in 7 or 8 months ago. Apologies about the hat in advance, it's terrible. London 2012, Olympic Games, hardly fashionable, but my hair is, as you can see, so bad. Looks like I've been electrocuted that I think the hat is the better of two bad options. So yeah, as I said, I wanted to document my weight loss journey, and I want to break it down into 5 succinct sections. One being why I think I put the weight on in the first place, because it's probably better to avoid it if you can, because although I actually quite enjoyed the process of losing my weight, it's still a little bit of a slog and it's probably best to avoid it, just purely for health reasons. Number 2, I want to cover how I kick-started myself in the first place to lose weight, because sometimes just starting is the largest hurdle I found. Thirdly, I want to weigh in a little bit on the diet versus exercise paradigm or argument per se. Some people arguing, diet's the most important factor in losing weight, calories in, calories out, and that is true. If you're eating less calories than you're burning, then you are going to lose weight. But then there's other proponents of the exercise side of things as well. I'm going to weigh in on how each benefited me, basically. Fourthly, I want to discuss motivation a little bit more. So how I stayed motivated between October when I started and now, and how I'm going to continue to motivate myself. And finally, I'm going to end up with some concluding comments. That's probably going to be a little bit wishy-washy, so if you're still here, fantastic. If not, no worries. You may be thinking, still, a little bit tubby, you can't see my belly. But trust me, it was a lot worse 7 or 8 months ago. But I'm feeling great now, although, I'm not, I can't even think of a model now, but I don't have that athletic physique. I'm pretty happy with myself, and I'm feeling healthy. So I think that's the most important thing, is that you feel healthy, whereas I can categorically say 7 or 8 months ago, I didn't. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more kind of a blog style post. I'll probably make more formal YouTube videos moving forward, but I thought this would be an interesting one to document. So on the screen now is a photo of me 7 to 8 months ago compared to a full body photo of me now. This isn't to brag, this is just to provide a little bit of credibility to the statements I'm going to make, because as you can see, the steps I took at least worked in my case, although they might not work for everybody. So following the structure I laid out earlier, the first thing I wanted to cover was why I put the weight on in the first place. And I think this can be further broke down into 2 factors. First being the lack of routine. Second being me being blissfully unaware of the situation I put myself in. So to address the first one, routine, this is probably one of the larger of the 2. My second year university, just to give you a little bit of background for those who haven't caught up with me for a while, I did geography and management at Loughborough University. If you're looking for an easy degree, if you're younger than me on my Facebook at the moment, or you're watching this YouTube and you're thinking about doing a university degree and you just want an easy time, geography and management is the one. But it's swings and roundabouts. I'm not sure how much I actually learned, but each their own. But yeah, the fact that my degree wasn't that challenging meant I didn't really have like a 9 to 5 routine. My lecture attendance really wasn't that great. I mean, people who know me would probably say not that great is an understatement. But that meant that I had a lot of free hours in a day, 14 hours when I was awake, and in those hours, I'd be video gaming, which was fun. Don't get me wrong. I had a great second year when I put on the weight, but a lot of the time I'd be bored because there's only so long you can game for. And when I was bored, I was thinking, oh, what should I do? Oh, let me get a takeout. Let me get a shot to get something unhealthy. So that lack of routine, I found, definitely contributed to me putting on the weight. The second factor I mentioned just now was me being blissfully unaware of the situation. I think that's a lot to do with the context that I was in as well. So at least with at least with a lot of my friends, and this is not to blame them at all. I mean, I take full responsibility, but the banter flows, and I fully partake in it. There's a lot of jokes that fire back and forward, and when someone's when someone isn't eating that fat, we'll call them fat just for a laugh. And it's I fully partake in it as well. I'm no saint here, but I never took offence, and no one ever takes offence in our group. It's just kind of how we act. But this is where kind of became blissfully unaware, because when I was this weight, they were calling me fat, which is fine, like whatever, get over it. But as I put on the weight, the joke stayed the same, but the weight went up and up and up. So it was like nothing really changed per se. When I was this way, I was called fat. When I was 42 kg heavier, 7 stone, I was still called fat. So I became a little bit unaware. And also, I had some friends that probably didn't want to hurt my feelings and never really mentioned that I put on so much weight as well. And that's because they're just great friends and they just don't want to offend me. But yeah, I generally found that I became a little bit unaware of the situation from both sides. One side because it always said rude things and that was funny and whatever, and the other side, people wanted to be polite and not say anything. So I never really clocked on until my mum actually sorted it out for me. So that kind of brings me on to point 2. What kicked me in gear, and for me this was mum leaving a note on my bed saying, I'm worried about your health. I think it's in a nice way, but there's a little bit of tough love. Basically it was, I'm worried about your health. If you need help moving forward, trying to live a healthier lifestyle, I'm happy to help you. In my case, mum helped me get a personal trainer once a week, which isn't necessary at all, but it did help me. Not so much, the personal trainer, although don't get me wrong, Doug was great. It was really educational for me. But it was really the tough love that was the Kickstarter to get me going. And trying to apply this to other people. Not everybody's going to have somebody come to them and sit them down and say, you need to live a healthier lifestyle. But what you can do, probably, I've been thinking about this, is you could initiate it. So you could sit down with a close friend or close family member and ask them, are you worried about my health? And not just, the standard banter of your mates joking around, like a serious sit down, ask a family member or a friend, what do they think about your health? And if, in all likelihood, they will tell you the truth. And if they are worried, they will tell you. And that might be the Kickstarter you need to actually do something about it. So number 3, the point I wanted to cover was the diet and the exercise paragram. So I think purely for losing weight, diet is probably the most important. If you're not consuming as much as you're burning, is that the right way around? Yeah, if you're not eating as much as you're burning, then you will lose weight. However, what I find with exercise is that it really helps you stick to a healthy way of eating, because if you do an hour in the gym, half an hour in the gym, whatever it is, you finish that, you feel great, and at least for me, after doing that, I didn't want to eat a chocolate bar or something unhealthy. It's not like I was craving it the whole time anymore. I felt I got a euphoria from exercise, and I didn't feel like I wanted to ruin that work. It wasn't even that. It was just because of the exercise, I just felt healthy, and I just didn't really want to eat the junk food anymore. And exercise also helped me with my confidence as well. Like, I just felt so much more energetic at the start of the day if I'd gone to the gym in the morning. So I think purely from a diet perspective, or losing weight perspective, the diet's probably the most important. But the added benefits you get from exercise that in turn help with the diet cannot be understated. It's really good if you can do both. And I'm not saying like ram out the gym, 7 times a week. You don't have to do that. Like at the start, I started off relatively modestly with 3 times a week, and over time, I got the health bug. I went 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and you really will find as you begin to get fitter and fitter, and things become easier and easier for you. Everyday tasks become easier and easier. You will just feel great. In terms of point number 4 I wanted to cover, which is motivation. For me, this is about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So for me, I was very lucky. I had people in my house that were already gym goers, and I just went along with them, and it made it very easy to start off with. And they carried on going, and it kept me motivated. And over time, I developed my own self-motivation, and that was that. But if you have a load of friends, a load of gamers, for example, that just don't want to exercise with you, there's plenty of Instagram and YouTube and Twitch channels you can follow that are talking about healthy living and exercising. I can link some of the ones that I follow on YouTube and Instagram down below in the video. So it doesn't have to be people. When I say surround yourself, it doesn't have to be people like your best mate that you have to force to go to the gym with you. It can be surrounding yourself on social media. And just seeing other people do it makes you more inclined to keep going. So I guess then, just to conclude with some final thoughts and tips, I would highly recommend getting a diet food tracker. I use an app called lifesum, which was fantastic. You can just put your food in there and kind of keep track of it. There's not too much about counting calories, but you're more inclined, especially if you plan your food out the night before, the next day. You're more inclined to stick to those food items, whereas I found when I don't have a plan of what I'm going to eat the next day, I'll end up kind of snacking here or there, and it adds up over time. So it's more about making a plan per se, about what you're going to eat, and the best way I found to do that is through just an app on your phone. Lifesum is the one I originally used. Then in December I got a Fitbit, and on Fitbit you can also use a diet tracker or whatever, but Lifesum's free. If you want to get a Fitbit, fantastic, but not particularly necessary. As the video is getting quite long now, I'm probably going to cut it there. I might make another one if people find this interesting, about the types of food I ate, when I allowed myself cheat days. I did go out drinking and stuff, and how I kind of fit that in. Because don't get me, I didn't have a bad time dieting at all. So there is a way to do it that doesn't make you miserable. So I might cover that, but yeah, this video is getting quite long, so maybe in another one. But thanks for joining me in this first YouTube/blog post. Hope you found it interesting. I've enjoyed documenting it. So yeah, peace out.